Hello everyone, welcome back. As I mentioned in our last video, we will be using microservice architecture to build our application. So before we start doing that, let's see why did we decide to use microservices, and I'll give out a view of why most of the companies are started using microservice architecture. So before microservices, we were following monolithic architecture. So basically in this monolithic architecture, user interface, business layer and data interface, all of this code resides in one code base, and we will be deploying this code. If there is any bug in any layer, if then we need to bring down whole code and then we need to redeploy it. So but when it comes to microservice architecture, so you will divide as a layer and you maintain it as a service, and then you will maintain the code. So for example, as we see in the picture, you can see like microservice UI we separated, and there are like different services you have, and then like different services to different things. So as we see here, the like basically we will be following this, like we'll have different services to do different operations. Let's see what is our business rule and why we are following it. So business case is the list of users whose transaction is above 500. So that's what the business case we have. And then how do you usually do it? Like you have UI, you have written the logic, and you get the data from the database. So you write all this and put it in one code base and you deploy it. So after few days, when you realize one of the test case is failing, like you did not cover a decimal case, like with the decimal. So now if you need to add that, then what will you do? You will bring down the whole code base, you fix the bug to take care of decimals, and then you redeploy it. Like our website will be working perfectly. So let's take it. If you move this to microservice architecture, so what basically you can do is like you can have different services for different business case. So you can write or you can maintain one service for one, like to maintain the logic, and then different service where you're getting or fetching the data from the table. So here, this is just one example. Think those user can do different, like so whose transaction is above 500 and they are done it in like within 1 week, so I need to send them few coupons. And then since we missed 500 points, like after decimals, so we did not send people who is like above 500 and decimal. So you can do so many things. It's just a small example here. And so like this, like logic and fetching the data from table. So if you maintain this as different services, now after few days we realize there is a bug in the logic. So you bring down the service and then you fix it and redeploy. You don't need to bring it down the service which is trying to give you or fetching the data from database. And so here you can like, this shows code maintenance is easier, and then different team can maintain different services. So and along with that, think today you are using um, Oracle or like SQL to fetch the value, and then like in future, as the data becomes complex and then you want to use NoSQL, you don't need to even worry about the logic service. You just need to bring down the fetch data service, like the service which is getting the data from table. So you can completely move that to the NoSQL. So the other services won't get affected. So you can follow any technologies to implement your service, it's like it's not dependent on other services. So it's like basically when they ask you some data, you just need to be giving the data. It's irrespective of how did you code it, does it depends on the other services. So these are the major advantages we can see in microservices. That's the reason like most of the companies are following microservices. So what are we waiting for? Let's start implementing and see how we can do it.